Nvidia stock had two main topics impacting it today. The first is going to be its annual shareholder meeting, and the second thing is Micron Technology, the memory company that provides memory like HBM3E that goes in Nvidia's AI chips, reported earnings, and the stock unfortunately is down over almost 8% as I am recording today's episode. So today I want to take a closer look at both these topics and why maybe I got even more bullish on Nvidia. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so quick price action. We can see Nvidia sitting at $126.40 when the market closed today. Unfortunately, the stock is down about 2% after hours. Personally, I believe the main thing is Micron earnings, right? Micron is down roughly 8%. And I'm going to guess that a lot of semiconductor stocks are also down with it, right? We can see AMD is down roughly 1%. After hours, Intel's down roughly 0.2%. So we can see a little bit of the semiconductor market kind of being impacted by Micron earnings. So like I mentioned, today we did have an annual shareholder meeting for Nvidia. And I mentioned it in yesterday's episode where I really thought that this meeting was going to be more business than anything. We weren't going to get anything revolutionary. And that was the case, right? It was pretty much a bunch of things that we already knew as investors, while they had to deal with some things on the business side, some things that they had to vote with, things like compensation and some people getting reelected. So it was nothing that I personally thought would drive the stock price, and I want to say I was correct. But there was one thing out of the shareholder that really got me pretty excited. So Jensen Huang did come out and kind of talked a little bit about the product or the process of Nvidia right now. And he actually talks about the Blackwell architecture. First, he mentions that, hey, look, demand for Hopper architecture remains strong. And that's something we've heard from their previous earnings call. They mentioned that Blackwell, its successor, has been broadly adopted by the industry. And more importantly, he mentions this: the Blackwell architecture platform will likely be the most successful product in our history and even for the entire computer system. So that alone, not just the first part, right? I feel like if you've been watching this channel, you guys know how bullish I am for the Blackwell architecture and how I believe the Blackwell, mainly the Grace Blackwell platform, is going to dominate the AI space. And how this is how bullish I am for the Blackwell. I think the H100 solidify Nvidia as the king of the AI market, right? If you think of the AI space and the AI king, you're gonna think of Nvidia. I think the Blackwell platform is what's gonna make you think of Nvidia as the god of the AI market, right? I think the Blackwell platform with their B200, with their NVLink switch, with their Spectrum X800 for Ethernet networking solutions, their Quantum X800 for their overall AI networking, and their Grace Blackwell 200 for their super chip compute node with the NVL72. I think this platform is the amount of demand they're going to see for the Grace Blackwell and for the overall Blackwell market is going to be insane. So I was pretty excited when he mentions that, hey, look, this is going to be the most successful product in history for their company. But what got me even more excited is when he mentions that this is going to be something that's going to be one of the biggest products for the entire computer history. And there's not a lot of products out there that you can name, hey, look, these revolutionized the computer and the tech world. And the reason I believe Jensen mentioned this is because he knows a lot of the back end that's happening in the AI space. And one of the things that's probably stopping this AI space from evolving at such a rapid pace is computational powers, the software solutions, and the infrastructure. So to my belief, by Jensen saying this, it means that he believes that this Grace Blackwell is going to be that hardware architecture that's going to help AI get to that next level. And that next level is going to blow everybody's mind because everybody's going to say, hey, look, thanks to the computational power, the software solutions, the infrastructure solution, the power cost efficiency, the speed of Blackwell platform, we were able to develop XYZ that ended up changing the world. So for me, it gets me pretty excited that the Grace Blackwell is expected to be one of the greatest pieces of history of our times. And obviously, this is the CEO of Nvidia, so he has to be very excited about his product. But for him to say that, I believe there's something there that he has or that he knows to back that fact out. So I think that was the only real thing that got my attention during the shareholder meeting. There were a lot of Q&A sessions during it, but nothing that we don't know as NVIDIA investors, especially if you've been following this channel already. Before we go any further, we are now on the road to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all for the crazy support. So if you haven't and are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Finally, if you want to support the channel a little bit more, make sure to check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. Now back to today's episode. Now, the next thing we're going to take a closer look at is Micron Technology, ticker MU. If you have been following this channel as well, you guys know that I personally don't like the memory market just because it's one that's very commoditized and very competitive space. Right now, we can see that after hours, the stock is down nearly 8%, even though the company did beat on revenue, they did beat on earnings per share expectations, and guidance was actually in line with estimates. So maybe some of you might be wondering, Jose, if they did all that, why is the market giving back 8%? I want to say the stock did really amazing year to date with up over 72%, where right now maybe it might be cooling off, but we all know how this market is one after hours it could be down, and who knows, maybe when the market opens tomorrow it could go green. Regardless, for me, Micron Technology is not one that I would touch. I think the memory market, even with the AI space, is going to be very, very cyclical. I'd rather stick, if I believe the AI market is the huge growth player, I think I would rather stick with Nvidia at the moment and maybe not diversify into too many other plays, especially not the memory market. But Micron did have a lot to share during their presentations that I think investors need to know, especially Nvidia investors. So they mentioned in data centers, rapidly growing AI demand enables them to grow their revenue by over 50% on a sequential basis, and they grew their share in high margin AI related product categories such as HBM. So for those that are not familiar, HBM, high bandwidth memory, is a type of memory that goes into all these AI accelerators, and there's only 3 players out here that can really do it. Micron is finally getting into this space with their HBM3E. Unfortunately, they didn't really do anything with the HBM3 market, but they were able to enter in the HBM3E, and they're growing here, and this is one of their overall growth opportunities for the future. They also mentions that they have robust AI driven demand for data center products is causing tightness on their leading edge nodes, and they expect continued price increase throughout calendar year of 2024. So overall, this is telling me that, hey, look, right now there's a lot more demand than supply for HBM memory, which seems like it's going to be another bottleneck for AI accelerators, which means that Nvidia is going to continue to be the supply constraint on their products as well, if an important component from the memory side is supply constraint as well. So overall, we can continue to see these potential evidence that the AI market is here to stay for the foreseeable future, and that it's still going to be more of a supply constrained market opposed to a demand constrained market, which bodes well for Nvidia. Now, they mentioned that as they look ahead to 2025, they believe that the continued growth in AI data centers will continue to give them the confidence for very high revenue in fiscal year of 2025. So obviously, if they're being bullish in the AI server for 2025, then that we can correlate to Nvidia also being bullish for the market. Now, Micron Technology's leadership did have something to share about where we are in this AI space. And right now, they mentioned that we are in early innings of a multi-year race to enable artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And I don't think we're anywhere near there, right? And I agree with here that we are in early innings. So right now, every company that's kind of focusing in the AI space, their end goal is AGI, because this is what's going to kind of be the final level as we see it right right now. And to enable things like AGI, you're going to need to be training some crazy model sizes with trillions of parameters, and you're going to need some sophisticated servers for inferencing. All I read from that is more AI chips for training, for inferencing, which means if you're the top dog in the AI space and you continue to develop in this space, you're going to be doing really good for the future. So overall, while Micron's technology earnings might have not been the best for that company, as we can see the stock was down roughly 8%, I do believe Micron did share some great insight about the AI space, and it tells me that, hey Jose, there's no worriness about any pocket of weakness right now for Nvidia, especially for the Blackwell platform. So right now Micron did give some bullish case for Nvidia, and I am pretty surprised that the stock is down roughly 2%. I wouldn't be surprised that if we see some really green days in the next few days as analysts begin to really dig into this earnings call. So take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.